Relationships are hard, man. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to this video. My name is Novak, and today I want to talk a little bit about relationships, friendships, romantic relationships, family, whatever it may be, just relationships in general. I want to talk about learning to accept when those relations end. Pretty heavy subject, I know. Before we start this, I just want to give a massive thanks to the people out there that have been giving me feedback throughout the last couple of months since I returned on YouTube. I've gotten a lot of really positive feedback on my last few videos, both in real life and on YouTube. And so just thank you for that. I'm glad you guys enjoy these little sort of talks we have. Now, a little disclaimer before we get into all of this. I'm not going to be talking about any sort of specific relationships that I've had, maybe a few examples, but I'm not going to go specifically into with whom or in what sort of scenario, because I don't want to, bring anybody to the table. I don't want to out anybody and talk shit about anyone. So this is going to be more general, but I think it's really important to learn to accept when a relation is over, and the most important thing is to be grateful for that relation. I was talking to a friend about it recently that said to me, if you've had a relation with a person and that person disappears from your life, don't you regret having used all that time and money and energy on that person? And I said to him, no. I really don't look at it this way. I'd rather be thankful for the opportunity to have gotten to get to know this person. Like, my philosophy on life is pretty simple. Everyone's on a pattern. Everyone's on their own road, okay? So imagine everybody on Earth is on one big field. And on this field, there are a bunch of little paths everywhere. And we're all walking along our own path. Now, because we're so many people, we end up crossing over each other's paths. That's what happens in life. When you get to know somebody, when you get a relationship with somebody, whether it be romantic or not, basically what happens is that their path that they're on in their life crosses with yours. And that is a huge commitment already. You can literally change somebody's life by bumping into them on the street. You never know. And I think that the most valuable thing you can do in this life is to be there for somebody else. Right? I know that sounds very sort of cliche, but it's true. Life is so pointless. Life is so meaningless. It's so meaningless and so pointless that so many people, follow religion because it gives them sort of this belief that there is a higher meaning to all of it. Personally, I'm not religious. That's not what this video is about. But so I believe that the most meaningful thing you can do in this life is to be something for somebody else. To be a positive influence on somebody else's life. When I'm an old man sitting looking back on my life, if I can be sure that at some point I was a part of somebody's life and made that person's life better in one way or another, that's an achievement for me. Like, that's what's going to make it all worth it. So, for example, I had a friend, right? And for 2 years we were best friends. We were really best friends. Like, we were together every single day, and we were so close, and I used so much time and money and energy on this friend, and now we don't have any contact whatsoever. I've lost this person out of my life, and that hurts me because I would have loved to have continued my relation with this person, but I still don't feel like my time with this person was meaningless or pointless. And I don't feel like I regret having used 2 years of my life on this person. I don't feel like it wasn't worth it at all. In fact, I'm grateful to this person. I'm grateful to this person that I got to spend 2 years of my life with this individual, and got to do so many things with this person, have so many experiences. Because at the end of the day, like, life is about having a good time, right? But practical things just keep getting in the way, right? We still have to pay our bills. We have to do all that boring stuff. But at the end of the day, it's about having fun. And when you find someone in your life, whether it be a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a friend, or a family member, whenever you find someone that makes you feel like you have a good time, that makes you feel happy, that you do things with, that make you feel good, that's a blessing. That's the way I look at it. So I'm not regretting having used 2 years of my life on this person at all. I am grateful that I got to spend all that time with this individual. I'm grateful that I got to be there for this person, that I got to be a positive change in this person's life, that I got to support this person and help this person through the tough times. The feeling of being able to be there for someone is so rewarding, and it's such an amazing feeling. And the way I look at it, this person that I'm talking about, for example, their life is a lot better today than it was when I met this individual. And I like to think that I am a small part of that, at least, that I'm a part of it, because I supported and helped this person as much as I possibly could. And when I met this person, they were at their lowest, and now everything's going great for that person. And obviously that's not down to me, because I know this person has worked really hard to get to where they are, but I like to think that I'm a part of it. I like to think that I have contributed to these things, and that is a really rewarding feeling, knowing that I've contributed with something positive in this person's life. For example, like losing my mom is so hard, and people felt so sorry for me, and you know, it really is awful waking up in the morning and knowing that she's not there anymore. But at the same time, I am so grateful that I got to have an incredible mom like her for 22 years. And I'm so grateful for that, because I honestly don't know where I would have been if she hadn't been there, if she hadn't been in my life. My mom offered me so much support and got me out of some really dark times, and like got me out of a suicidal state, and just was always there for me to support me 100%. And I am so grateful to have had that in my life. Instead of being sorry that she's gone, I'm just grateful that I got to experience that. And that's the same with any relation in life, really. And we should be grateful, man. We should be grateful that other people cross our paths. We should be so grateful for this, because it's so coincidental. Like, why did they cross our path? Why did they become a part of our particular life? You know? But it's so hard when relationships end, especially romantic relationships, right? It is so hard when those relationships end. But at the end of the day, you got to be grateful that you had them, because they made you you. And they were such a vital part of who you are. As cheesy as it sounds, when you're heartbroken over a breakup or a conclusion to any relation, the reason why you're broken up about it and sad about it is because it was meaningful. And at the end of the day, when you get sad about a relation ending of any kind, that just lets you know that that relation was worth having, because otherwise you wouldn't be broken up about it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be sad about it. And that's what you got to keep reminding yourself, even though it's fucking hard. I mean, breakups especially, they're the hardest fucking thing to go through, man. And listening to all the sad music in the world and fucking comforting yourself with all kinds of destructive patterns. It's part of it. It's part of it, and it's so hard. And sometimes it takes years to get over. Sometimes it takes years to move on. But at the end of the day, that only lets you know that that relation was worth having, and that relationship was meaningful. But it's hard, especially when you lose someone because they die, right? In 2019, in January, I lost a really close friend. He was 29 years old. A fire erupted in his apartment. He was living on the 4th floor, and he tried to get out through the kitchen window, and he fell and crashed and died. He was 29 years old, and I was so close with him, and he was a collaborative business partner as well. And we were making a TV show together, believe it or not. Long story, but anyway. And I was just so close with this person, and I looked up to this person so much, and this person was so important to me. And then he died, 29 years old. And he was so popular with everybody. I mean, at his funeral, 700 people showed up. He was just so amazing and so inspirational to everybody that crossed his path. And we were all so fucking heartbroken to lose him. But I am just so grateful that I ever got to encounter him. Because if I hadn't met him when I did, I might have never had him in my life. Maybe it would have been too late. Maybe I would have not been fortunate enough to spend time with this individual, to spend so much time with this individual as I was lucky enough to get to spend. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for him and the relationship I had with him, and just the fact that I got to get to know this person. I mean, that means the world to me. And I was so heartbroken, and it was so fucking tough. And I remember I was on I didn't know that he died. He died in the middle of the night. And the day after, I was sitting in school, and it was the lunch break. And I was looking at Facebook, and I just saw that like 100 people had posted on his wall, "Rest in peace." And I thought, what the fuck is going on? Is this a cruel joke? What the hell is going on? So I contacted, some people that I know, that I'm friends with, that were friends with him, and asked what the hell happened. And they told me that he had passed away during the night, and told me what happened. And I just remember I started just bawling, dude. I remember going out into the hallway and calling up my mom. And at the time, my mom was in hospital. This was 4 months before she died, so she was in hospital. But I remember calling her up and just sitting out in the hallway for like half an hour, just crying, just bawling my eyes out. And she said to me, she said, "You can't continue to be at school. You gotta leave." So I left school, and I drove over to the hospital to be with my mom. And she comforted me once again. But I just remember how fucking heartbroken I was. I remember going out to this person's apartment that burned, and just looking at it from the outside. And obviously the police had covered the apartment up so you couldn't get inside. But I just had to see it for myself. I just had to see the apartment building that was burned for myself. Anyway, a sad story like that is meaningful, so meaningful, because I was so heartbroken over the fact that he passed away, because he had meant so much to me. Anyway, my point in this video is just that sometimes you just gotta try to see the bigger picture. I'm also making this video in order to be able to look at it myself when I go through a breakup, for example, or any sort of relationship ending, that I can look at this video, think to myself that I'm right, and try to see things in the bigger perspective. And I'm making this video to everyone out there that's struggling, going through a hard time right now, whether you've lost someone that has died, whether you've just gone through a rough breakup, or whether you've just lost your best friend. Just try to see things in the bigger picture, even though it's fucking heartbreaking and it's hard. Try to see things in the bigger picture. Just try to remember to just be grateful that they were there. Be grateful that they made you so sad by leaving, because that means that it was worth it. That your relationship with this person was worth it. Because trust me, like when you get old, right, and you sit and you look back at your life, the things you'll remember is the people that have been in your life at one point or another, that have made a positive influence on your life. And that's what makes life worth living. Honestly, that's what I feel like. I know it's cheesy, but that's honestly how I feel. It makes life worth living. So that's all I wanted to say today. Sorry for this very long rambling video. I hope you got something out of it. I don't know. But I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. And consider liking and subscribing and all that stuff. And I will see you guys at another time.